Alright, so today's power was Skin Sharpen. This one, I had a couple ideas going into it, but I knew I wanted to have him slashing kind of something, right? So I wanted to have it very obvious that like his hand is going through something. And so I was having this idea of it being framed, so that he's almost like cutting through like the camera, right? Like so it's going through. Though it was a little harder on the execution. Um, Originally, this scene was supposed to take place more in like a city environment, right? Like it was supposed to be more of a, more of a, I guess, yeah, like more of like that urban kind of environment, having the like having all of the, um, skyscrapers, skyscrapers and all that being in the background. But here's the issue: I forget to draw backgrounds before the foreground, so I kind of forgot to do that, so it messed me up a little bit. Not gonna lie. Um, However, this I really like this pose that he's taking, right? Like this like this sliding off almost. It's I think it really enunciates the like it or it doesn't enunciate, but like it helps guide like your eyes on where to go, right? Because it starts up there and then it gets smaller as it goes down to the other hand. And so it's again I think that helps like visually guide your eyes in the right place. So that's very nice. Um so yeah, you can see here I was trying to draw like skyscrapers in the background, but I'm not I'm not great at it. It's definitely not my forte. I just don't see a lot of skyscrapers. So, maybe making the story take place in a city, maybe not my best play, but Um, but regardless, one thing I don't know, I feel like I always like my sketches a lot more than I like my final drawings. I think that's just a bit of a problem that I've run into because like this, I really like the sketch. Like it looks very fun as a sketch. I just somewhere along the execution, it ends up getting, I guess, muddled. Like there's just something about it that it gets messed up, and I couldn't really describe it to you, but it's just somewhere along the line. Feels like stuff gets a little iffy. Regardless, I in terms of like the actual power, because I know it has like some like it's not like a super common one for your Justice Leagues or your Avengers or whatever, right? Like those big superhero teams. The way that I think of it is when his skin comes into contact with something, right? So it's not just like he puts his hand forward and it makes like a blade, right? Because obviously that's one thing, but basically any edge, any time he goes like rubs his hand against something, right? His skin manipulates in such a way to have like an edge, right? So like if you gave him a high five, it would cut you, assuming that you didn't stay perfectly in place with his hand. Because if it moves at all, the that like almost because it's not friction, but it would be like when something's sliding against his skin, the skin reacts in such a way to where it sharpens itself to cut the object going against it. So like if you know he if he hit you with his forearm and it slid past you, it would still cut you because his hand would have sharpened because it hit you, right? So that's how that's like the best explanation I could give for it, right? Though obviously the most notable like thing that you'd be doing with that is probably just a lot of punches and kicks, right? Because like when I think of a thing to get sharp, I think of like doing like a karate chop, and it just has more of a shing to it, right? More of a slice, and so that's where I got this kind of an idea from. Not necessarily like a super hard karate chop, but just that kind of idea. I've also realized I don't really know how to draw windows. That's like like in terms of like having like your normal window for like just like a one bedroom kind of thing. I get that part, right? But like in terms of like window like for like a skyscraper, I don't know how to draw it, but that's like the only thing I can think of when I think of like a skyscraper. So, you know. Again, I know I already mentioned it, but I do really like the paneling that's in this picture. I think it does look it does look very good. It does feel very nice to look at. Because I think that's the issue. I kind of always have the same. It'll like a lot. I have a very big problem with making everything feel very samey, and so I like that I was able to change how this one looked in a decent way. Like this was decidedly different, which is always it's always nice. Unfortunately, my hard drive I think filled up, or I might have hit a button or something like that. Because I wasn't able to get me changing the background of this, which I did have some comments for, which I'll just cover now. I again the skyscraper and the backdrop of all this, I just looked awkward. It looked ugly, and so I did change it to like this orange hue, for the sunset. Just because I don't know, it was a lot more satisfying than the blues, right? I think I couldn't really tell you why. Um, Additionally, I also added some reds and um, some of that to the big black things. Uh, or the big back like triangle shapes on each of the corners. Just because I thought it could signify more of like a he's cutting through somebody and it's bleeding, right? Of course, that would require some more storytelling. So you know, regardless, but you can see like almost like a I guess a beta version of that in the background here, which of course is what makes this look oh so pretty. Regardless, this one was a lot shorter. I just had again have a lot of stuff to do. So regardless. I again just thank y'all for watching. Last video did very well, honestly, for the amount of effort I put into it. I didn't think it would be doing that great. So thank y'all for thank y'all for gassing it up. That's it's always nice to see. Um, and yeah, just comment anything you got for me, and I will make sure to respond at some point today. See ya.